Imagine a prison built on a cold, isolated rock in the middle of a freezing ocean bay. The currents are deadly, the water is ice cold, and the guards are everywhere. This is Alcatraz. For decades, the US government told the public that this maximum security prison was completely inescapable. They were wrong. On the morning of June 12, 1962, a prison guard walked past cell block B. He looked inside the cells of 3 inmates. Everything looked perfectly normal. The men seemed to be sleeping peacefully, with their blankets pulled up to their chins. But when the guard knocked on the iron bars, nobody moved. He reached inside and touched one of the sleeping men. Suddenly, the inmate's head rolled off the pillow and crashed onto the concrete floor. It wasn't a human head. It was a fake dummy head made of soap, toilet paper, and real human hair. The inmates were gone. Alcatraz sat on an island in San Francisco Bay, surrounded by violent ocean currents. Even if a prisoner somehow climbed over the walls, the freezing water would cause their body to go into shock within minutes. But in 1960, a man named Frank Morris arrived on the island. Morris was exceptionally highly intelligent, with an IQ in the top 2% of the population. He was a meticulous planner. Morris teamed up with 2 brothers, John and Clarence Anglin, and together they spent a whole year planning the escape. Every night, they used everyday metal spoons stolen from the prison dining hall. They sharpened the edges of the spoons to create tiny improvised tools. Behind the toilet and sink in each cell was a small ventilation duct. The concrete around these vents was old and damaged by the salty sea air. Every single night, while the other prisoners slept, Morris and the Anglin brothers used their sharpened spoons to chip away at the concrete walls. During the prison's daily music hour, Morris played his accordion loudly to drown out the sound of the scraping metal. When they finished digging each night, they covered the holes with fake cardboard walls painted to match the color of the cell. Behind the cell walls was an unguarded, narrow utility corridor. Once they widened the holes enough, they could crawl through the walls and climb the pipes all the way up to the prison roof. On the night of June 11, 1962, the plan went live. First, they placed the homemade dummy heads into their beds. They had created these faces using a mixture of soap, toothpaste, and concrete dust, gluing on real hair from the prison barbershop so they looked authentic in the dim night lighting. The 3 men crawled through the holes in their walls, climbed up the utility pipes, and pushed open a giant ventilation ceiling fan on the roof. They slipped across the roof, slid down a long bakery pipe on the side of the building, and scaled a massive 15-foot fence. They were out of the building, but still trapped on the island. To cross the deadly ocean water, they needed a boat. Over several months, the men had stolen more than 50 rubber raincoats from the prison factory. They used the heat from the prison's steam pipes to melt the rubber edges and seal the raincoats together, creating a makeshift inflatable raft. Using an accordion as a pump, they inflated their raft at the edge of the water, stepped into the dark waves, and vanished into the thick San Francisco fog. Next morning, the prison erupted into absolute chaos. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in history. A few days later, search teams found pieces of rubber raincoat floating in the water, along with a plastic bag containing the personal photographs of the Anglin brothers. The official report from the FBI concluded that the men must have drowned in the freezing water. Because no bodies were ever recovered, the government closed the case, stating that the men were missing without a trace. Decades later, the Anglin family received mysterious Christmas cards with no return address, signed with John and Clarence's names. Handwriting experts analyzed the cards and concluded they were highly likely to be real. Furthermore, a photograph emerged in the 1970s, allegedly showing the 2 brothers living on a farm in Brazil. The official record says they drowned, but the evidence suggests Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers successfully made it to freedom.